Ladies and gentlemen, former President Donald Trump has won a major ruling. Manhattan DA drops appeal after federal judge rules Jim Jordan can demand testimony from ex-prosecutor. A statement from the Manhattan DA's office says the parties have come to an agreement for testimony from Mark Pomerantz. He's not going to be able to simply answer the question without the following question without possibly committing perjury. Do you know of anyone, did you meet with, converse, or talk to any Democrat or Democratic operative, lawyer, anyone associated with the Democratic Party when deciding to indict Trump? Okay, the gentleman, the prosecutor that they're going to hear testimony from, Pomerantz, I believe, wrote a book. Okay, you also have the district attorney before Alvin Bragg, Cy Vance in Manhattan, not indicting Trump, Merrick Garland not indicting Trump, the FEC not even giving Trump a fine. So it's purely political. They don't like Donald Trump. They want to stop him in 24. They don't really have anything on him, so the news cycle relies on endless allegations, investigations, and they finally got their indictment, but it was a complete unmitigated political disaster, catastrophe, embarrassment, and it didn't work out. They finally got their indictment that they've been waiting for 7 years, and now nobody cares about it. And even liberal publications are saying, yeah, it's complete nonsense. There is no federal crime. And in New York, the 34 payments or the 34 felonies that he's alleged to have committed, Trump, are tied to payments to Michael Cohen, who used his own money. So Michael Cohen set up a corporation in his own name, not Trump's, used his own money, and then was reimbursed for legal services because he almost certainly did this for other clients. Now, on the other hand of the political spectrum or the legal spectrum, you have Hunter with a laptop. Look at the difference here, ladies and gentlemen. You have Hunter with a laptop full of incriminating emails. You have Trump, who didn't even get fined by the FEC, and he's indicted. You have Hunter and Joe implicated in over 150 banking financial transactions to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. And there's a federal investigation of Hunter. They impeached Trump for asking if another country's president, a country that's invaded under Biden's watch, if Biden was corrupt and if he could find out if Biden committed a crime. He was impeached for exactly what our government is doing right now. Our government right now is investigating Hunter. And we now have an IRS and a Central Intelligence, former IRS and Central Intelligence officials. We have now former IRS and Central Intelligence officials saying that they are essentially covering things up, and the investigation is just an attempt at a political ploy to say, well, we're investigating. I mean, we're apolitical, we're investigating. Well, of course, they're trying their best to run out the clock. Hunter, it looks like he'll be indicted. But again, the indictment with Hunter will likely not actually address all the criminality, because there's a great deal of criminality there. When there's nothing wrong with doing business in other countries. There is something wrong with possibly, according to Ted Cruz, summarizing classified data, okay, to facilitate business deals and giving influence. There's one email, which is why these 50-plus intel officials, directed apparently by bumbling Blinken, it is criminal to hide the truth about felonies that Joe and Hunter are possibly committing. When Democrats or media hear that, they say there's no evidence that any felonies were committed. Oh, yes, there is. There's one email within the New York Post that says that is addressed to Hunter. How can you use your influence on the company's behalf? It's not only influence peddling, it could very well be graft, bribery, kickbacks. These are serious felonies, infinitely more serious than anything Trump was even ever accused of. I mean, the whole thing with, he never worked with the Kremlin, ever. And yet you still have people believing that while at the same time pontificating about truth. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. Email me at contactgoodman88@gmail.com. And also, the super thanks is below next to the like and the share buttons. And the my Patreon is below as well. But he won a major ruling because you want testimony, okay? You want testimony to... You want Democrats to testify. You want these prosecutors to testify. And if they plead the fifth on whether or not they had any dealings with Democrats, then you investigate further. I mean, the IRS official and the Central Intel official are going to be the basis for impeachment in addition to Hunter's laptop. Okay, felonies were committed by Hunter and Joe. This is not a hyperbolic statement. We know from the New York Post reporting, if you don't think that Hunter or Joe committed felonies, then you haven't read the New York Post reporting. You haven't looked at the specific emails where 10% is given to Joe Biden of the money. He's the big man. These are emails from Hunter's laptop, okay? You don't have anything of the sort with Trump or Donald Trump Jr., okay? The only thing they can try to do to make everything morally relative is, other countries gave Trump money. I don't care if people give money to Hunter, or I don't care if Hunter or Joe or Bill or Hillary do business or philanthropy, yeah, right, quote unquote, in other countries. The problem is influence. The problem is kickbacks, bribery, graft, actually stating, hey, let's do a business deal and you'll get preferential treatment or you'll get help in some way that could hurt U.S. foreign policy. So the interests of the United States of America are secondary. Trump never put the interests of the U.S. secondary, ever. That's what they tried to accuse Trump of doing while they did that. And so you look at even our response to you know what. Democrats looked at other countries and said, look how they're responding. We should never have done that. Especially the most populous country in the world where it might, or where it did originate from. And so we should never have done that as a country, but we should never have shut down the economy. We should never have done a lot of things. And that was not Trump's policies. You know, when they say, well, Trump did this, Trump did that, a lot of the things that he's being blamed for are Democratic Party policies. They're not his policies. It's not like he said, hey, we should really shut down the U.S. economy. He didn't say that. That's not something that he wanted to do. Okay, so this is a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where you have testimony that's going to exonerate Trump yet again. You're not going to be able, if you're the entire world knows that almost certainly Alvin, Bragg, and Pomerantz and all of these people despise Trump. And if you are in a position where you're going to indict Trump, it's probably better that you don't absolutely despise him and think that he's the greatest menace and monster that has ever walked this planet. It's probably better if you are in law enforcement or if you're in the judicial system or if you're a judge or an attorney or a prosecutor. It's probably better to say, oh, well, we're nonpartisan, we're apolitical. But they're not even pretending to be nonpartisan. They just despise Trump. And it's really sad. I mean, this started when Democrats and media couldn't handle Trump defeating Clinton. And it has not stopped. It's become part of the American psyche now. And it's really unfortunate. Not the psyche of the half of the country that despises Trump for no reason. There's no reason to actually despise or dislike Trump. I mean, you can say, I don't like his personality, so therefore I dislike him. That's fine. That's rational. It's not rational to say he was a bad president when he presided over record low poverty in 2019. That alone obliterates any grandiose statement about him menacing democracy. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe.